Greetings, metaphysicians. This is episode 184, Emotional Repair. And this is an episode to listen into. You are actually going to get to hear one of the processes from Master John Douglas, and that is emotional repair, a free process that anyone can download and listen to whenever and wherever they want. So tune in and enjoy the episode.
You're listening to Let's Get Metaphysical. This podcast explores the spiritual and metaphysical world through the experiences and opinions of the host and those interviewed. It should not necessarily be seen as direct endorsement or personal advice to our listeners. We encourage you to use your own discernment, judgment, and intuition regarding anything you learn from this show. The statements and advice offered in this podcast are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition, and are not substitutes for prudent medical care offered by licensed medical professionals. References to healing or treatments in this episode are describing faith-based blessings performed by God and the master healing angels. Neither this episode nor any part of it may be copied, transcribed, distorted, sold, republished, or distributed without first receiving the express written permission of both the CMA International Foundation and Up and Awaken Productions.
Let's get meta.
Welcome to the Let's Get Metaphysical podcast. I'm your host, Renata Maniaci. Here to remind you, you are an eternal soul having a temporary human experience here on lovely planet Earth. Enjoy it. This is Season 8, Angelic Reformation. And this is episode 184, Emotional Repair. This season is all about the body of knowledge known as Angelic Reformation, which is what we call the tools, processes, and rapid spiritual development work that has been presented through the teacher, Master John Douglas, by his companions, the Master Angels. It is about the intentional, rapid evolution of your consciousness. It is a set of spiritual development tools that anyone can choose to use alongside any existing spiritual practice, religion, or tradition, if desired. If you have not yet listened to the first 2 episodes for this season, please go ahead and listen to episode 168, Angelic Reformation, and episode 169, The Evolution of Consciousness, before listening into this one. Now, if you are ready, then let's get meta. Master Angels, I humbly request your presence, guidance, and support through this episode. Please help these words to be useful to all listeners on their evolutionary journey. Let me know the truth, speak the truth, become the truth, and be the truth. And please let this episode reach whoever needs to hear it. Thank you with full faith. Bless creation. And today we are talking about the emotional repair process. And just to remind everyone, a process in this context is an MP3, kind of like an audio meditation. There are currently 15 processes in the array of tools that make up Angelic Reformation, ranging in length from 3 minutes to an hour. And this is the shortest process there is, emotional repair. It is also free and available to all at globalcma.org. When you get to the website, you click on Free Blessings at the top of the screen to find emotional repair, and you can download it. This is one of my very favorite tools. It is used very often by me. It is useful in numerous types of situations. And so let's go ahead and hear about some of those now.
Hi, I'm Penelope. I live in California. I'm fairly new to using the Angelic Reformation processes. I've been making use of more and more of them over the past year now. I'm especially grateful for the free emotional repair process On numerous occasions, I've used this process with great relief. One particularly notable instance was when I found myself becoming upset after an interaction with a disgruntled loved one. I was on my way to an appointment and concerned that my now tumultuous emotions would negatively affect my driving and my attendance. So I decided to play the emotional repair process, and I played it on repeat 3 times back to back. And I found that with each run through the process, I felt the emotional turmoil dissipating and lifting off of me. I was so relieved. I was able to go about my driving with clear focus and attend my appointment in a much calmer, more positive state. What a blessing to have this free tool. It's short and yet has been so impactful for me.
My name is Melissa. I live in Hurricane, Utah. About 6 years ago, I was dating a man who was emotionally troubled. He would have outrageous anger bursts, and I was afraid. I felt dark and scared. One day, I decided to listen to emotional repair. As I sat there, I was overcome with peace and comfort. I felt this warm, tingling embrace, and all of the darkness left me and left my home. I will never forget that beautiful experience.
My name is Christine. I live in Bronx, New York. And I wanted to sincerely thank the Master Angels for providing emotional repair to everyone, that they put it out in the world for everyone to receive free. And it's such a short process that even those who are not comfortable to sit for a while can just sit with a 3-minute process. And it's so beautiful. I know for myself, I find myself getting sometimes very anxious or fearful or overwhelmed, and need grounding and something to just say, you're okay. And emotional repair, it just has a way of helping that. Honestly, when I'm in those states, I will generally listen to emotional repair about 3 times at least, because sometimes I've gotten so wound up, it takes a few rounds. But it's so beautiful. And each round, I see myself coming down and back to, hey, it's okay. A really extraordinary thing is that I'm in animal rescue, and this has a profound effect on animals. It's my immediate go-to. I have emotional repair on a loop, and we get animals that have been abandoned. They're fearful, maybe injured. They're in fight or flight. They don't know what's going on, and it works immediately. I feel so grateful to be able to bring some peace and some, hey, you're okay. Not just from a human saying it, but the angels reaching them through this process. And every time it happens, I feel so divinely blessed for being a vehicle to bring them the process for whatever has been happening in their lives, to deliver this beautiful process.
Hi there, my name is Ida, and I'm from Northern Virginia, and I wanted to give a testimonial about emotional repair. Emotional repair is one of the most miraculous processes. It is so incredible. I actually listened to emotional repair before I doing this testimonial, because I woke up with some emotional feelings and some grief coming up with all the transformational work that we're doing. Grief has been coming up a lot, and it can be overwhelming sometimes. So emotional repair is just so incredible. It's just like a warm shower every morning, and just disempowers the ego, negative emotional reactions. It just gets you centered and connected to the divine, and it really is the most divine, miraculous process as far as your emotions. And it really just, you can feel it all over your body. Any kind of stomach issues, emotional stuff usually affects, physical health as well. So thank you so, so much, Master John, for gifting us this incredible process.
A big thank you to Penelope, Melissa, Christine, and Ida for sharing their experiences with emotional repair with us. And now we have a really special opportunity here in which I get to play the actual process of emotional repair for you. Again, this is a free downloadable process. You can listen to it on your computer, have it on your phone wherever you go. So I'm going to start this process now. It is about 3 minutes long, and ideally you are in a space where you can sit and relax or lay down and listen to it. But either way, it should be safe enough if you're driving or moving about. Enjoy.
Emotional repair healing process will begin. The Master Angels of Spirit Repair are now cleansing your aura, chakras, astral and causal body. All negative entities and spirits are being released and returned to Divine Center to relieve you of negative interference. All negative thought form energies are being disintegrated. Your negative emotions are being disempowered. Your negative thought processes are being disempowered. Brain chemicals and hormonal levels are being balanced. The energy of your reactive mind and ego are being disempowered. Now, pure divine love from the Divine Center is filling you and flowing through you, energizing and repairing all of your spiritual anatomy. Feel the relief. Divine energy is the nature of all things in the universe. We become more of ourselves when we fill with divine energy. Sensitive and aware people need spiritual power and protection to overcome the negative forces of the hidden world.
There you have it. So I hope that that was an interesting and pleasant experience for you. As you heard in the testimonials, many people use this tool over and over again if they are having a situation or need it. And I am no different. Usually when I listen to emotional repair, I listen to it 2 or 3 times on loop, or depending on the situation, I will just play it on repeat. It's a wonderful tool because it's so quick. It is free. It is easily accessible. I think the 3-minute length of it makes it more accessible to people as a tool to use and introduce to others who might be interested in this work. It also, I have seen it work when I have it on loop on silent and improve environments, situations that are stressful or could use some kind of angelic help. This is a really good one to go to. And even just having it on silent brings the angels in to do the work in the space. I have used it for so many different reasons, along with our lovely folks who shared their testimonials. I have used this tool to prepare for emotional or high stress meetings or conversations, whether they are for work or for personal reasons. I remember distinctly the first time that I used it for this, I was feeling upset at a person who I needed to have a phone conversation with to clear something up. And I was feeling betrayed and hurt and indignant. And I remember just listening to Emotional Repair on loop, probably for a good 10 or 15 minutes before this person called and we had a conversation. And the conversation went really well. And I do credit that to having listened to Emotional Repair, especially for my part of it. It calmed me down enough to be clear and to not have my emotions clouding my words, or it just helped me to be able to articulate my position more clearly and without having my heavy emotions in the way. I've already mentioned that I play this loop in certain spaces. I often enjoy and notice a difference playing Emotional Repair in situations where there's just a lot of people, whether it's a festival or music venues, also places where there might be an accident or an emergency happening. If there's a lot of stress or panic, as you know, happens sometimes when we're out in the world, I will sometimes get the nudge to play Emotional Repair. This is a thing that I've also dedicated to a place or location that I'm not in if I see something unfolding, maybe on the news or, an emergency or a weather event or something has happened somewhere. Now, of course, I can't see the result. I don't know what the result is of me dedicating Emotional Repair process to these places and these people, but I do have faith that it is doing something. And of course, I just use it myself when I'm feeling overwhelmed or emotional, as happens sometimes for distinct reasons or sometimes for no reason at all. And at those times, I will also usually play Emotional Repair 2 or 3 times. It's just so quick. And I find that every time I listen to it, I feel better. So sometimes it's 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I have definitely once or twice fallen asleep to Emotional Repair on repeat and just feel completely different in the morning, completely supported and calm and clear. And I could go on and on about Emotional Repair, but I think the testimonials that we heard previously covered a wide range of situations and times that folks would use this process. I just want to share again, this is a free process and it's a really perfect one to be able to see if this is a tool that would be useful for you. If you listen to this and you feel something that might pique your interest. It's a 3-minute kind of taste of what these other processes are like. The other processes are all longer than this. I think the next shortest one is 9 minutes, and most of them range between 10 and 20 minutes, with a couple of the more advanced processes being near 30 minutes or an hour. But they are all so very specific in what they do. I'm sure those who have been following this season understand that they have very specific blessings placed upon them. They do different things. The angels are actually allowing and starting certain processes within us every time we choose to press play. These audios, these processes are the mechanism through which these angelic beings can help us in various ways. And it's something to say that. Anyone can say that. And, there would be people, if they were listening to the podcast for the first time, that would think that that's crazy. And that's fine. But there are hundreds, if not thousands of people around the world using these tools because they notice a difference in themselves just by pressing play on an audio process. And that is where even I, who have been listening to these processes for over 9 years now, it's been 9.5 years, am still astounded that this works. And we think, how does this work? How do we know? You can feel it. I wouldn't still be listening to emotional repair or any of these processes if I didn't see the changes within myself. It would be kind of like, taking some kind of medication that never helped you improve your situation, or going to therapy for 20 years when nothing has changed about the way you feel about yourself or the way you see your life. If it doesn't work, I would not do it. And so I guess it's something that I share because I am still mind blown that these actually do shift us, change us, help us to evolve, help us to grow, help me get out of my emotional tizzy that I'm in any given moment. Just a 3-minute process, maybe listening to it 2 or 3 times in a row, completely shifts the mood, shifts the energy, clears a space. And I want to back up what they said about pets. This is a wonderful process to play for your pets if they are in any kind of distress. I've done it myself with family pets and friends' pets, and they just settle down. And if you don't believe or can't comprehend that something is happening when you're listening to it, play it in the presence of a pet or an animal and see what they do, see how they react, because that is an objective way to see if something is happening. You can't make up if a pet that was, kind of unsettled and roaming around suddenly lays down and goes to sleep during this 3-minute process, or any of the other processes for that matter. The pets love these tools. That is a really beautiful way to just notice, hey, something is happening here. So again, the emotional repair process is free. It can be used whenever, wherever. It's a great way to see if these types of tools would be useful to you on your journey. One more thing, if you are interested in this type of work, if you've been listening to these episodes and are thinking, yeah, there might be something to this, or yeah, I'm really interested in learning more, we are currently in the middle of Master John's fall tour. It is called the Divine Light Tour Fall 2025. You can find out more about it on the website at globalcma.org. And you can just choose to come to one event if you want. We have, let me think, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 more events that are available to anyone who is new to this work. So you can find those. They are usually on Saturdays, except one of those 5 events, I believe, will be on a Wednesday evening. You can listen in live, hear Master John speak live. And if for some reason none of those times work for you, you can still purchase the event, receive the blessings in real time, even if you aren't listening to it live, and then you will have access to the replays. So if you're hearing this season right now in real time in fall 2025 and you're interested, this is a moment where you can actually hear this teacher speaking live. And every event is different. Every blessing and healing and talk that he gives is different depending on the array of souls who happen to be listening in at that particular event. So if you're feeling any kind of inkling, you can go and check out the tour at globalcma.org. These angelic reformation tools are available to anyone interested, but there's not a lot of marketing. There is no marketing. This isn't even marketing. I am choosing to share this in a season on this podcast because these tools have been so useful to me. But no one's going door to door. No one is soliciting. No one is twisting anyone's arm. The people who use these tools are people who have benefited from them and have decided to share them with their families and friends, and that's it. So if this is calling to you, there's probably a reason for that. If you feel called to leave a positive review for this podcast, please do. You can leave a 5-star review with a positive word or two on Apple Podcast or Spotify or however you are listening to it. It really does help the episode and the podcast to reach the people who do need to hear it. As always, thank you for listening. Stay positive, stay safe, and stay meta.
The Let's Get Metaphysical podcast is an Up, and Awaken production and is produced and hosted by Renata Maniaci. Our intention is to raise the vibration of the planet by sharing, validating, and normalizing spiritual and metaphysical experiences. The Let's Get Meta podcast is inspired by angels and supported by angels. If you would like to be a patron angel of the podcast, visit patreon.com/letsgetmeta. Thank you for listening. Stay meta.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.